Welcome back to LonelyMan BGs and this series on how to play War of the Ring. In this video, we'll be going over the game board map. The game board map is a view of Western Middle-earth at the end of the Third Age. Let's start with regions. The map is divided into territories called regions. Each region is also identified by a name, for example, Mount Gundabad or Bree. The normal border is indicated by a white line shown between the two regions. Rivers also form borders, with two white lines as the common style. These act as normal borders as well. Thick black lines represent mountain borders, which are impassable. For example, Mordor is surrounded by mountains, and players may only move through the open passages at Minas Morgul and Morannon. Any regions separated by this border type are not considered adjacent. Colored lines running along a border represent specific nations. For example, these yellow-colored borders represent Isengard. Seas do not count as regions, so they are also impassable. The regions bordering sea area are known as coastal regions. If there is large lettering within a region, the region typically represents a city or stronghold. Some cards and rules may refer to free regions. The region is free if it doesn't contain an enemy army or an enemy-controlled settlement. If a stronghold is besieged by a player's army, that also counts as a free region for them, even though it is controlled by the enemy. Regions can be empty, contain fortifications, or have one of the three types of settlements. This is a fortification. They are easily defendable positions like ruins, forts, or fords. There are two fortifications on the map, Osgiliath and the Fords of Isen. Settlements represent locations vital to the economy and defense of a nation. There are three types of settlements: towns, cities, and strongholds. This is a symbol for a free people's town. Towns represent areas that allow for recruitment of troops of a specific nation. For example, this is the symbol for the nation of Isengard. This is a symbol for a shadow city. Cities are major urban centers that can be used to recruit troops. There are also combat advantages for defending in these areas. Finally, strongholds represent fortresses, elven homes, and the capitals of Middle-earth. Troops can be recruited in these areas, and defenders receive strong advantages during battle. Each stronghold is matched by a stronghold box on the left side of the board. When cities and strongholds are captured, they give victory points to the capturer. In cities, this single symbol is to remind players that control of this region is worth 1 victory point to the opponent. In strongholds, the dual symbols remind players that control of this region is worth 2 victory points to the opponent. Now we'll quickly go over the tracks and boxes located along the sides of the game board. This is the Fellowship track, which records the progress of the Fellowship as well as their corruption. The Hunt for the Ring box displays dice that the shadow player allocates to finding the ring. The Political track reminds players which nations are at war. The Guide of the Fellowship displays which character is currently guiding the Fellowship. The Fellowship of the Ring box displays the figures and counters of the companions who compose the Fellowship. The Elven Rings hold the 3 Elven Ring counters. The 4 Event Deck boxes contain the cards for each player. The Stronghold boxes will hold army units involved in a siege battle. These army boxes hold figures when there is not enough space in a certain region. The Victory Point track keeps count of each player's conquests. Finally, the Mordor track keeps track of the progress of the Fellowship while traveling in Mordor. This concludes our video on the board game map. If you have any questions or feel that I missed something, please comment below. Also, make sure to like and subscribe if you like my content. In the next video, we'll be going over how to set up the game. Thanks for watching.